Hey guys, I'm just going to do a quick walk around and show you some of the plants I have and potentially some of their uses. So I'll take you through some of the plants that I've got as nitrogen fixers, and yeah, mainly got these to improve the soil and yeah, pretty much give nitrogen to the plants around it. So first of all, we've got the acacia species. I've got a few different types of these, hence why I've named the homestead farm after that, should I say. So we got right here, we've got Acacia dealbata, otherwise known as silver wattle. And then down here we have the Acacia brevimeria, otherwise known as alpine wattle. And we've got a sick looking, some of my acacias do this, they just randomly lose their leaves and then they'll grow again, so I don't know what actually causes that, but I'll find a good example of that one if I can. Not sure if I've got one here. Oh, here's one here. So I think these are called Acacia Baileyana, and this is the purpurea version. You can get the normal ones that have just the green leaf, but these are the purpled variety. And these will all be going in my food forest as nitrogen fixers. And yeah, a lot of wattles or acacias get a bad name because people think they're quite invasive, and they can be. So I'll just have to keep on top of them. An upside to all of it is that I can trim branches when I need to, and I'd have a steady supply of mulch and even firewood. This is another acacia species I have, Acacia floribunda, otherwise known as Sally wattle or sallow wattle. So all acacias start off with a leaf like this, and a few of them will probably keep the same leaf, like the dealbata. They keep their same leaves like this. But then a lot of them grow to what they call phyllodes. So they're not really a leaf as such. I don't really know the technical term, but yeah, they just call it phyllodes, and this is what you have here. So this is the main species of acacia I'll be using here in my glass house, my temporary little glass house shelter that was just supposed to let my plants survive for the autumn, winter and the spring, as the spring's pretty brutal here sometimes. So yeah, these aren't too frost resistant, hence why I've kept them in here. So this is Acacia melanoxylon, otherwise known as Tasmanian blackwood. So yeah, as I was saying before, they'll have these like juvenile leaves, and then they end up growing phyllodes like this. So it's quite strange seeing them do this. And yeah, this is mainly for my my firewood block. I've got a firewood block at my land, so I've fenced off about what would you say, about 80 by 40 section, 40 meter section, and planted it with Eucalyptus ovata, which is swamp gum, and some Eucalyptus nitens and some Eucalyptus globulus, not as many. But yeah, the plan is those eucalyptuses are spaced at 2 meter spacings, and I'll be planting these in between. And over in Australia, acacias are known to live quite well under eucalyptuses in the natural habitat. So I'll just be trying to take advantage of that. But the thing is that these aren't frost resistant in their young stages at all. So I'm going to probably keep them in a glass house for maybe a couple of years. I'll repot them so they're bigger, as they're only in little PB 3/4 bags. And then yeah, I'll repot them, and then after a couple of years I'll end up planting them in the ground, and hopefully they survive the frost. Another one here is sea buckthorn, also known as Hippophae rhamnoides, and It's another excellent nitrogen fixer, and it's supposed to have the most nutritious berries on the planet. Very thorny. You can get thornless varieties sold at nurseries, but these were just random seeds I brought off the internet here in New Zealand. There's not a massive selection of these, and it's kind of hard to almost get these. So yeah, I was pretty stoked to get 3 at least survive out of the 10 I planted. Didn't really like the sun out here or the heat, as they started to yeah, they just started to pretty much die off, so I put them behind this black barrel here full of yams, and from the Discoria family. Yeah, different names over in the States. But yeah, put them here, and doing really well in the shaded little spot. Just to go a wee bit off track here, this is Casuarina Cunninghamana, otherwise known as river she oak. Pretty sure it's a phosphorus accumulator, so it brings phosphorus deep out of the soil up to the plants around it. So that's what I plan to have in the food forest as well. They do grow quite big and like wet sites, hence the name. So I'll just take you through some of the herbs I have, and I might explain a wee bit why I have them, or yeah, why the purpose of me growing them is for. Here we have feverfew. It's well known that it helps with migraines. Hopefully I never have to use it. Yeah, seeds very prolifically, little tiny seeds, very easy to grow. And right next to it we have orange mint, and that looks like it's pretty much going to seed. Yeah, there's the leaves there. Smells really good. And there's more over here, along with some parsley seed heads. So this isn't a herb, it's just a flower, but I haven't really got much flowers here. It's mainly food and, plants grown for food and herbs for the same reason, etc. But this is lamb's ear, otherwise known as Stachys by Xantia. Really nice soft leaves. Just got given to me in a trade for other plants I was selling, so just thought I'd take them. So also here we got rosemary, excellent for cooking, good on lamb, very hardy plant, very drought tolerant. Got a few of it here. And then we got some pineapple sage, which smells really nice if you love the smell of pineapple. And what else do we have in here? We've got some different thymes down in there. There is some oregano in here somewhere. Don't know where, it's probably overgrown with something. Over here we have some tarragon. This is just the normal type, not the French tarragon. It's quite strong in cooking because you don't need that much. Speaking of flowers again, we got a calendula in here. You can actually eat the flowers. It's a good bee pollinator. So a lot of the reasons I got herbs is that they can confuse bad insects that would like to feed on your plants. So you plant them all around your trees, and it kind of deters them, or some deter them, like what was it, like tansy, which we got over here. Deters some insects, or strong smelling like herbs like mints, and yeah, anything with quite a strong smell can deter a lot of bad insects from trying to eat your crops. And then on the other hand, you've got herbs that can kind of like confuse the insects, so they go for the herbs instead, or they just steer clear of them. Here we have some Anastache funiculum, or anise hyssop as it's called. Really nice little aniseed smell. It's seeding very prolifically, so yeah, on a nicer day I'll come grab some seeds off it when it's dry, as it's been raining today. Alright, back onto the mint species. This is chocolate mint, another one I didn't really know existed until I seen it in the nursery. Yeah, it's a nice little smell to it. This one seems to have escaped the mint rust. Or maybe it hasn't. No, who knows. It's looking healthier than the other mints at the moment, but yeah, mint rust ends up just like taking over all my mint plants. And you pretty much got to chuck them out or cut them all to the ground, which I did. I just cut them all right back in winter and then pretty much let them grow back, and a lot of them still do have mint, still have the rust, and I'll show you shortly. So yeah, this is kind of what mint rust looks like. It's normally worse. I think it's because everything's starting to die off, but yeah, it's got like a light orangey. It's really bad in the back of the leaves normally, but it's like powdery orange fungus that just ends up killing the mint, making it look real sick. Here's my common garden mint that I have. That's all gone to seed. Oh, there's some new stuff growing down in there. Pretty much just use that all the time for new potatoes. It's awesome. And this is the spearmint. And then around here we have basil mint, which smells really quite strange, like half and half between basil and mint, hence the name. But yeah, it's got a really strong basil smell mainly. You can eat it straight off the leaf. And I'm not sure 100% what you use it for in culinary purposes. But yeah. Then over here we have apple mint. It's more of a furry, kind of a softer leaf. Smells really nice. I think they actually call it woolly mint as another name for it. This stalky monster here is evening primrose. Yeah, hence the name. I think they only flower late afternoon. Yeah, it definitely loves it in this big potting bag. So here we have, I'm not sure which is which actually, if it's bee balm or bergamot. So the bergamot is Monarda fistulosa, and the bee balm is known as Monarda didyma. Pretty out there, weird looking flowers. Hoping to get some seed off these. I've never really started collecting seed that much before, so I don't know at what stage to get it or if all seeds form on flowers. I'm learning every day. So yeah, we've got some marshmallow down in here, right at the back here. And that's also known as Althea officinalis. But yeah, it's got really sharp little seed pods. Well, shells protecting the seed pods. So I'm not 100% sure if I want to use marshmallow for anything, but it was nice trying it out. There are a lot of medical uses for it, but yeah, who knows. And then we have wormwood, or what is it called? It is Artesima absinthium. They use it in absinthe, the alcohol. So this is lemon balm, all these little ones down here. So I just pretty much split it up from a big plant, hoping that all these little ones would grow, and they have. They actually grow like a weed or a pioneer plant, as purists like to call them. But yeah, great for repelling insects, and you can it's also got a number of uses in there, like homeopathy and medical, and yeah, flavourings for teas and all that, lemon balm tea. Here's another herb, lavender. Definitely easier to grow from divisions, or yeah, I think it's divisions, I'm not sure about cuttings, but I'd go doing it from seed, and people have said it's been quite hard to get them to germinate, but here we are. It took a wee while. Just about chucked out the seedling tray because nothing was growing, and then they all suddenly just popped up, so quite lucky I kept that. It's another great thing for repelling insects, anything strong smelling, well, repelling the bad insects. So just going back to this little chuck out scrap garden I have there, this is where I chuck out all the plants that have died or whatever, and yeah, it's pretty much just taken over itself. But I dotted comfrey around the place everywhere, and that's just taken off, as you can see. Comfrey, as you people in the know already probably know, it's a great nutrient accumulator, so dynamic accumulator. It sends down a big deep taproot that can be, oh no, I've heard up to about 3 meters long, and it draws all the deep minerals out of the soil that the plant can't access from the top layer. It brings it all up, and then you just chop and drop the leaves, use them as mulch, and then all those nutrients return back. So yeah, great plant. It's probably like the #1 permaculture plant you should have in your garden, hands down. And then we got, I think there's a burridge or a comfrey over here somewhere, and then we got a dill just down here. I think some sorrel has ended up making a name for itself over here. Yeah, bit of sorrel. Using salads. I think it's a bit high in possibly oxalic acid, so you can't eat too much of it. No. And we got some, is that apple mint? I can't tell. Yes it is. There's some apple mint just growing in there randomly too. So yeah, the plan is I just dig out chunks and chunks of comfrey and take it out to my farmlet every now and then and just plant it. And it just seems to grow like ruthlessly. You can almost never kill it. This is my little tree cemetery here. All of these pretty much developed canker. You can probably see it. Where is it? Yeah, they get this weeping, it's like orange ambery liquid. This one doesn't really have it on it, but I'll probably show you a better example down here. Maybe not, or is it this one? Yeah, it's not doing it at the moment, but they get this weeping orange liquid, and they get like shotgun hole looking things in the leaf. Sometimes they don't even grow at all, like this nectarine for example. It just never leafed it at all during the spring. So I was trying to figure out what was going on, and then this little shoot popped out, and then sure enough, yeah, there was just all this amber sap just oozing out of it. So I knew pretty much straight away it was bacterial canker, and for a tree this size it's pretty much end game, eh? There's no point even planting it. It's just gonna continue to just get worse and never fruit really. Yeah, you can kind of see the lesions there. It's a horrible thing, eh? I was pretty gutted to get rid of these. This one here though, I'm not sure, like the stalk of it had some pretty bad lesions on it with sap coming out of it. But the top leaves are actually looking alright, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this. This is a cherry Greatella. So I'll take you through some of the other random plants that I have and stuff that's not directly related to the food forest, and yeah, show you what they are. So over here we got my Trichocereus cactuses. There's a few of them. I'll just briefly explain what a few varieties are, but this is just Trichocereus pachinoi, and gotten quite big, and they're all from this mother plant here. So with cactuses, they always pop out where the areolas are. A good example is this one here. Pop out where the spikes come out, otherwise known as areolas, or areolas. I'm not sure if it's areola or not, but yes, this one's just about used up. It's probably its 20th pup it's popped out. And this is Trichocereus peruvianus. I think it's known as Peruvian torch. Some Trichocereus pachinoi monstros, otherwise known as crests. So that's the mutated version, essentially, of this. No, sorry, this is the mutated version of this. So yeah, quite sought after, quite nice to look at, very brain looking. This is my Trichocereus bridgesii monstros, otherwise known as the penis plant, hence hence why. And it's popping out all over the place. And I'll go and show you what the normal version of that looks like. Just over here, this is a normal Bridgesii. There's a smaller one here. And then we got random hybrids, like this one, and this one. And then we got a Scopulica. It's another Trichoceros. I mean to try my hand at grafting at some stage. And down here we got some more little hybrid babies going on. That's pretty much it for the cactuses. So over here we got a Weeping Willow, Salix babylonica, and a Pyrus aristocrat, otherwise known as a ornamental pear. Very nice foliage, changes colour in autumn, starts going a bit more reddish, as you can see as we're just into autumn now. Down here we got some red tussocks. Yeah, they grow nice and bushy and quite nice to look at once they get bigger. And then over here we got the Carex species. So this is called Carex frosted curls. Brought this as one big plant and pretty much just made heaps of divisions out of it. Now I've got like 40 or 50. So it's a nice little little bush to look at. Over here we've got a cordyline. I'm not sure of the subspecies. Yeah, they grow quite nice to look at as well. And we've got some flax. These are coloured. I ended up picking a lot of seed heads off all these different coloured flaxes and just put them in one bucket. And yeah, so I don't know what these are going to be, but we'll find out when they're bigger. And this is Toon tree, otherwise known as Tuna sinensis, or some people call them beef and onion tree or plant. And you could even take the leaves off these, the young leaves, and deep fry them or chop them up and use them as like in dumplings, and it's used a fair bit over in the Asian cultures. It's been known to be invasive, so I guess we won't be able to tell, should I say, until it gets bigger and we plant it. And this is Canuka, New Zealand native. It's Kunzia ericoides. So it's very similar to the Manuka, which I'll show you over here. So this is your Manuka here. So this is known as Manuka. It's Leptospermum scoparium. Leptospermum scoparium. And yeah, this is the pink variety, so it grows nice little pink flowers. I won't be able to tell until probably another 5 to 7 years when they're big enough to flower. The usual, this is another New Zealand native. The normal types just have white flowers, but yeah, these pink ones are quite nice to look at. Got a few of these I'll need to plant out. Got some philodendron ciliums. These are normally house plants, but yeah, decided to take some. Well, I did some divisions, and they've just been out here since it's been such a good summer. So once it gets colder, I'll bring them inside. So we've got these cherry. These were just suckers growing off a big cherry tree that my parents had in a tunnel house. Yes, they had a cherry tree in a tunnel house. It's quite a tall one. It's 20 metres by 10 metres long. 20 metres long, sorry. So I just wanted some little blossoming specimen trees, and if the rootstock that they came off does end up developing cherries, which I don't think it will, but if it does, then it's a bonus. But yeah, I mainly just got them for the blossom. There's more over here. These were attacked by the pear slugs. So they are the larvae from the sawfly, and they just chew through everything. So I managed to get them, not really early enough, but they did enough damage. So yeah, it's done the same thing to this one. This is in the cherry family as well. I'm not sure of the species. And yeah, chewed it up pretty good. Just a golden elm here I was going to plant as a specimen tree. So I'll just go on to the climbing plants that I have to be able to use in the food forest. I've only got a couple, so I'll just go into them now. So in here we have one, which is the kiwi fruit. So that's the Actinidia species, or family, or genus. Always get confused. So these I just grew from seed. We're a bit fiddly to start growing, but once they grow, they do pretty well. You see a lot of them have been burnt. I had them at the back of this little makeshift tunnel house that I had, just to be able to let my plants survive over the winter and the autumn here, as it frosts and it kills a lot of these more tender plants that are used to the climates in the North Island. But yeah, the roof is kind of very slack, so water ends up pooling. I just end up putting those little bamboo stakes to kind of stop the water pooling as much. It still pools away a bit, but yeah, so the water pools up there, and then when the sun comes out, it acts like a giant lens and just fries the plants that are underneath it. So yeah, this is all that damage here due to the burning. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these go. I do like kiwi fruit. And this is pretty much the only other climbing thing I'm going to use in the food forest. Other climbing thing. Climbing plant, should I say. So these grapes, they're all red varieties. Not sure the types or the names. I just know they're good fruiters. Some of them are out of my parents' tunnel house, and I know they produce massive crops, so I just got some cuttings off them. So on to the fruit bushes and shrubs. We'll start with these. These are my pomegranates, just grown from seed. They're more of a heat-loving plant. They grow more in the Mediterranean areas, but I've got a few. I'm planning to erect a big tunnel house at the land eventually, so we'll chuck these in here and see if they produce any fruit. We might not have the sunlight hours down here to do it. We are in a zone 4 down here in Southland, so yeah. Here we have, I think it's called a marionberry. It's a hybrid, be a hybrid cross between a blackberry and a boysenberry. Be another one over here. These have no problem with the cold. We've got different blueberry varieties here. So we've got Elliot, we've got Duke, Swanee. It's a good idea with blueberries to cross-pollinate, so have different varieties, and they tend to fruit better and have bigger yields if you have different varieties together. Here's some currants. I've got the red, the black, and the white currants. They're all in the rubus family. Not sure which is which. I know which ones are the white currants because they are labelled, but the red and the black, I'm not too sure because I just took them all from cuttings and I didn't take notice to see what they were, and I didn't put little name pegs in there, which was silly on my behalf. And we got a raspberry here, some more currants there. We got an orange berry, which is in the same rubus family, Rubus pentalobus. And here's the bigger version of it here. They don't really grow that many berries, but they're supposed to be really delicious, so I've been told. It's more of a creeper, kind of spreads along the ground. We got a black boysenberry cross here, another hybrid. We've got a raspberry here, and then we've got a ivory raspberry over here. Yet to try these fruits, as they're all probably root bound, to be honest. This is me trusty old cranberry I've had for probably about 5 or 6 years. It's always been in the pot because I've always wanted to move it around. Glad I left it in the pot. Yeah, that's fruiting pretty hardcore. And then down here we have the New Zealand cranberry, otherwise known as the Chilean guava. A couple wee ones here. So might need to I think it's root bound, it's just not growing exceptionally fast. So yeah, might have to repot them maybe. As for ground covers, this is pretty much what we're going to be using. It's down here. Beautiful strawberries. Because who doesn't like a strawberry? Actual, like, who doesn't like a strawberry? So, yep. Just some red varieties here. We've got a couple like Camarosa and Albion varieties. And we also have Alpine strawberries here, which are white when ripe. So these fellas are ripe, you can just tell by giving them a wee squeeze. They don't really grow very big, probably like max size. So last but not least is the fruit trees. Here is a cherry, Rainier. The pear slugs have got to that, explained before. Little bastards. Yeah, hopefully this hasn't succumbed to canker like the rest of my fruit trees, my stone fruit trees. And we got a couple apples here. We got Monty's Surprise. And we've got a Peas Good Nonsuch. And down here we have black mulberries, otherwise known as Morris nigra. So yeah, you shouldn't plant these next to your footpath or anywhere you're going to walk, as it stains so bad. So we've got 3 of these. And just behind it was Balm of Gilead. And that's all seeded pretty good. I stole a lot of seed pods off it. It's good for using in chicken coops. It's supposed to deter mites. So yeah, fun fact. And here we have loquat. Not sure about the scientific name for this. Mainly grows in the North Island of New Zealand as it's warmer up there, but they are known to be hardy to frost once established. We got a peach tree here. I cut it down because the top half had canker, and I'm hoping this is growing out of the graft and not the rootstock, but I can't really tell. I think it's out of the graft. The graft starts down here. Might be lucky on that one. And then we've got a nectarine over here. Nectarine Mabel, not sure what Turian means, or PVR. It's something resistant. That got really bad leaf curl when it was younger. We brought it in late autumn, so it had no leaves, so I didn't know it was going to have peach curl. So I didn't really yeah. Next year I'll have to get something sorted before bud burst, so I can nip this into bud. Yeah, hopefully that survives. It's my only nectarine that survived the canker so far. So fingers crossed. Here's another cherry. This is Lepin's. Another thing with cherries is that you normally need another cherry variety to cross-pollinate with. So if you look online, there's heaps of information of which cherries can be pollinated with which, etc, etc. This is just another apple. Not sure what variety it is. Had a lot of this yellow spotting all over it. I thought it might have been a magnesium deficiency, so I sprayed it with Epsom salts a few weeks ago, and it seems to have come right. We have my apricots, which I grew from seed, from kernel, if you want to call it. So they seem to be doing alright. I think one of them, this one here, ended up getting canker, so sent off all these suckers. And yeah, it's grown from all the suckers, and the main stalk died off. That's the main stalk there, if you can see it. So I'm hoping these new suckers do not develop canker and will be good as. So these aren't really trees as such. Well, these are. We've got a lime beers. We've got a lemonade. A lemon, which isn't looking too well. I might have to feed it some citrus food. And mandarin. I don't have high hopes for the mandarin, considering the climate we're in. But you never know, in a tunnel house, you might be lucky. Oh, this is some Jacaranda mimosfolia. Not a fruit tree, but it's just a nice, puts out nice purple flowers. They get really big. Real common in Australia. They like the hotter climate. And yeah, not frost resistant at all until they're well established. So I might have to put these in keep these in a tunnel house for a few years. Then we got a passion fruit. Not keen to repot that yet because they just vine out so rapidly. We got a dragon fruit here. It is a white one. This will probably have to be kept in a tunnel house too. We got Narangilla or Solanum quitosi. We got some white sapote. You can get the white and the black types. They call them, I think the black one's called chocolate pudding fruit. I'm not 100% sure what the white one will taste like, but these are a tropical plant, tropical tree. The leaf rolling caterpillars have had a field day with this. As you can see the damage. And then over here we've got some moringa, a nice wee medicinal plant. More suited to African climates than here, but it is growing really slow, but it's still growing. And that probably wraps it up. So that pretty much wraps all that up. Hope you enjoyed watching. If you're keen to see more stuff like this, hit that subscribe button and yeah, let me know your thoughts. Alright, thanks for watching guys.